2001: A Space Odyssey is a science fiction film set during a period of space exploration. Robert Ebert says that 2001 is not concerned with thrilling us, but with inspiring our awe. This film, under the direction of Stanley Kubrick, mainly achieves this awe by his use of sound. The two types of sound that Kubrick uses to enhance the overall meaning of this film are ambient sound and sound effects. Looking at Movies defines ambient sound as sound which emanates from the ambience or background of the setting or environment being filmed. Oftentimes, ambient sound creates a context for the viewer. It allows the viewer to actually feel like he or she is in the scene with the characters and gives them a sense for what's going on in the surroundings of the shot. Sound effects are defined by looking at movies as all sounds that are artificially created for the soundtrack that have a definite function in telling the story. Sound effects are especially pivotal in this film to create a realistic portrayal of space exploration and the technology that comes along with that. Kubrick especially plays with the tension between ambient sounds and sound effects. It's especially interesting because in this film, the ambient sounds happen to be complete and total silence just because the film is set in outer space. It's a kind of silence that is entirely deafening and is just a vacuum of noise entirely. This is especially seen in the Rescue and Miss You scene. Kubrick switches back and forth between the deafening ambient sounds of total silence of outer space to the loud and chaotic beeping sounds within the pod. In the pod with Dave, the sound effects are loud, constant, and chaotic beeping, creating a very unsettling mood to the shot. Kubrick states, "It is not a message that I ever intend to convey in words. 2001 is a non-verbal experience. Out of 2 hours and 19 minutes of film, there are only a little less than 40 minutes of dialogue." While Kubrick does have a score of classical music to create a slow-paced mood to the film, it is arguably his use of accurate ambient sound of the silence of space that creates the most impact. Similar to this, Alfred Hitchcock's film Lifeboat used the same technique of ambient sound to create a very realistic portrayal of the situation in the film. Alfred Hitchcock wanted no music for his 1944 film Lifeboat because, as he says, the characters are out on the open ocean. Where would the music come from? Overall, Stanley Kubrick's film 2001: A Space Odyssey is one that masterfully uses sound to create tension, excitement, and context. It's a film that with only 40 minutes of dialogue is able to unfold a full story just by use of ambient sound, total silence, score,